Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I get asked quite a lot, what cars do I have in the garage at the moment? What mopeds do I have? What customer jobs do I have and all that? And I think it's time to do a garage tour of all of them. And we're going to start with the cars outside of the garage. Then we're going to go to the facility where I store most of my cars. And then in the end, take a small tour in here. So the first car to show is this. My Citroen C25 4x4. It's a camper and it's still running. We haven't used this for, I think, 1.5 years or something like that, maybe just a year. But we owned this for a few years now. We took it to Sweden a couple of years back. There's a video about that. We found it in a pretty sorry state. And I did a lot of work to this car outside because it's quite big, so it's not possible to get it into the garage. So a lot of the welding was outside in heavy rainfall. For some reason it just rained and rained and rained. Had to change the clutch. I also ended up having to change the head gasket and fit another cylinder head. There was a lot of work involved getting this on the road, but we are not really using it. The thing is, camper vans has gotten so popular the last few years that it's impossible to find cool places in Denmark without having to park together with a lot of other camper vans, and that's not my dream. It's actually starting to be the same in Sweden. I think there is just too many of them. And I've said this many times before, I don't want a collection of cars that is just collecting dirt, seizing up and all that, and this is not being used. I could really use the money for other projects, so we decided to put this one up for sale. As always, it hurts because it's not going to be possible to find another Citroen C25 4x4, that's for sure. There is the Sook. Oh, and it's in the garden currently, just behind the C25. I'm using it as a scaffolding for doing some paint work on the, doing some painting on the house. It's perfect for that. I haven't done any work to this since the last videos where I did a lot of engine work. And I gotta say, after doing that, this engine just runs so nice. It always takes a bit of time to get it to start, but once it starts, it's because it needs to pump some fuel up there. It just runs so nicely. That, I think, is not bad. This is another project that is just screaming on some time with a welder. It's a very interesting thing, this. Okay, I got some wise words coming up. Dream big. Everything is possible. No matter what you want in life, what you're trying to achieve, everything is possible. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. To give you a good example, I almost killed this engine. This is a S123 300 turbo diesel. It's actually a 300 engine with a turbo fitted to it. Long story. But this is probably the best car in the world. It's so extremely well built. Everything is so sturdy. I have been working on quite a few of these, my own and customer cars and friends' cars and so on. And I am amazed to see how broken these cars can be and still deliver whatever the owner is asking them to do. It's quite amazing. I haven't seen any other cars being in the same league as these. Yeah, old Toyota from the 90s is probably a little bit more reliable overall because nothing breaks on those, but a lot of stuff can break on these and they will still just deliver, and that's quite amazing. And these engines are so tough, And you will often hear someone tell you that they are impossible to break, but everything is possible. And it almost happened to me. I didn't quite get there, but I was very close. So me and my family was on a trip in this, and when we parked the car up and I stepped out of the car, I noticed a oil trail leading all the way to my car and up the road. And I was quite horrified to see that. In panic, I started to fill in oil just to figure out how much I had lost. I lost around 3.5 liters of oil. I think these engines got 5.5 liter or thereabout. It turned out to be this. So what happened was this hose. It burst right there. This hose is not a factory item on this engine. This engine is a 300D with the turbo fitted to it. I got the original turbo engine. I just need to do some work to that and it can go back in here. I don't know if that will ever happen because this engine is running really nicely. But because this is a 300 without turbo, with a turbo fitted, it didn't have a drain back into the oil pan, had to be made, and the previous owner made that and fitted this hose in between those points. All is great about that, but the problem is that this hose is not oil resistant. So it has gotten soft over time and then cracked right there, leading to that oil spill. And I'm currently on my way to buy another hose that is oil resistant so I can fit that, because currently I just fitted another coolant hose and it will last fine. The old one has lasted at least almost 2 years, so it won't deteriorate very quickly. But this is a very serious problem. It's so hard to notice unless you just look at the rear view mirror all the time, which I normally do, but I wasn't driving the car and I probably wouldn't have noticed anyway. So next time it happens, and it will happen unless I change that return line, there's a possibility that I don't notice in time and it will just wreck the engine in no time. Suddenly you will see no oil pressure, and when that happens, it's probably a little bit too late. The engine has probably seen a lot of wear because of this incident, but I don't hear any issues. It sounds just fine. The oil pressure is just fine. It is around 1.5 to 2 bars at idle, and it shoots up to 3, which is the maximum that the oil pressure thing can read under driving. So I think I'm lucky. And another example of the toughness of these cars, I just drove it home with 2 liters of oil in the tank. Of course, it got lower and lower, and the last few kilometers was, of course, the worst ones. But I was pretty lucky. But it just goes to show everything is possible. The first one, mine, and probably the most valuable item in my collection. One thing is the condition seems to be very good. There is some rust I need to fix, but it's not bad, and it's not at all in the normal rust leak that I work on. The other thing is, this is the ultimate Fiat Panda 4x4 edition. This is the limited Nuova edition that were made in 85 and 86. It's just the perfect and the most special edition of the 4x4. It's worth a lot, and it's a very, very cool car. I swapped this for my Citroen 2CV that is currently in the garage. I need to fix it up and I need to MOT it before the swap is complete. Therefore, I don't treat this as my own before that part of the deal is done. But I did drive this home all the way from Copenhagen, so a couple of 100 kilometers almost. And it did the trip pretty nicely. Got a little bit hot in the end, but it is an Italian car after all. It is a bit hot-tempered, but it's a very nice car. And then there is the AZU. This is not my car, unfortunately. It's a project together with Bilklubben podcast, but it's getting there. Currently, there is some paperwork issues and some documentation that needs to be right before the MOT can happen. So it might take a little longer, unfortunately. But I did do the first test drive of this last week, and there's a video about that. That was very, very exciting and slightly frightening. And very, very noisy. I still need to do some minor stuff. I need some rubbers on this door. I fitted on those, on that over there. I need on the rear door. I need to do some work on the lighting on the front right. And I have a feeling that it's over braking on the rear. It really likes to block the rear wheels, but I'm unsure if that's the way they were, because I cannot see any kind of pressure reduction in the system. So it's got to be built into the rear cylinders, or maybe they didn't really care back in the 50s, I don't know. But it is driving pretty decently. Next to the AZU is the Citroen XM. This is also Bilklubben podcast and a joint venture project together with me. They are not really in a hurry finishing up this car, therefore it's a bit on the back burner, but it's actually pretty much ready for going to the MOT and hopefully passing. The windscreen is changed. I did the rust in a previous video, and it's just standing over here, and it has been standing for a long time, but it seems to be rather happy to start and so on. And I have no doubt that if I put the battery on and press in that code that I found using magnifying glasses back in a video a long time ago, it will start. So let's try just for fun. Oh yeah. No issues. I'm gonna let it heat up a bit and get some pressure in the hydraulics. And it's rising up. This is such a cool car. Such a cool car. Oh. Nice. My Visa GTI, I think, is going to be one of the next in line to get on number plates because it's pretty much done. I need to change the rear suspension, do some work to the brakes, fit those other alloy wheels that I have found. I need to freshen those up a bit also, and then it should be ready. And it would really be nice to get something fun, small and fast on the road again, because currently I only have the S123 and the R25 V6 Turbo on the road. I miss driving small, fast, hot hatches. It is my favorite after all, so that would be nice to get this one out. I have driven this a bit on testing number plates, and it's a lot of fun. And it needs to happen soon. And here it is, probably the fastest car that I currently have in my fleet, the R25 V6 Turbo, and also the most luxury car that I have. It's really a joy to drive. It's actually almost sold. I have to sell it. I need some money for all the other projects, and this is a bit hard because I really like this car, but it probably needs to happen. I'm currently sanding down the bonnet because I want to repaint that before selling it. But there is already someone interested in buying this, and I can really, really understand that. By the way, the guy who is interested also bought the Citroen CX GTI I drove a couple of years back. So it's going to go to a good home if that happens. But I like this one. This is one of those projects of mine that makes me wish that I had more time to work on it, because this is such a cool car. I won't earn anything from fixing this other than the YouTube income, which is pretty much nothing. But this is one of those cars that I really look forward to working on. This is a Citroen Bx. Duh. It's a brake, it's a 4x4, and that's really cool. You will probably notice there is a bumper up here now. I will probably not notice, but in the previous Garage Tour video, there was none. And this is because the owner of this car, the old owner of this car, contacted me and told me that he had this one lying around and wanted to give it back to the car. So yeah, but this is just such a cool car. I really have a dream of fixing it up and using it as the daily winter car, because it's a 4x4. It could be so much fun. And it will never be a pristine condition car. It will always be a bit rusty, so it will be okay to drive it around in the snow and so on. That could be really fun. But it's hard to find the time to work on it. Insanity can show itself in many ways, and one way could be having a small collection of Metro, Austin Metro, Rover Metro. Yeah, I have 2 of them. This one is what started Seaside Garage. The very first video I made 5 years ago was working on this. During the quarantine times in Corona, I did most of the rust work on this, and then all the other projects came along, and it just went into the to the storage. And it might not look that way, but it is very close to being finished, and I just need the reason to finish it, either to sell it or to use it for something. Sometimes I think about using it to drive hill climb. That could maybe be fun, but it's not a very powerful edition, this. And I don't want to modify it too much because it's a rare car, even though many don't really think much of it. It is a rare car now. It's a low miler. It's in good condition, really. So it's a bit of a collectible item. It's just not worth anything. This, on the other side, is a very, very rusty Rover Metro GTI, and probably the only one in my country, I think. It just needs so much work, but this one could be very fun for hill climbing. It's a 1.4 K series engine, developing just about 100 horsepower, I think. Hydrogas suspension, the same on this one. Or is it called hydrolastic? No, hydrogas, I'm pretty sure. This one is linked from side to side, and this one is linked front to back. This makes sense. This doesn't really make sense in the suspension department, but it's interesting suspension setups nonetheless. And we're just going to pass by this Mahari project. Some of you will remember I did a lot of work to this, but it's not mine. I sold it to a very good friend of mine, and we're probably going to fix it up together at some point. It doesn't look much, but it is. This is my 80s French Gendarmeri car. It's a police car from France. We all need one of those in our life, of course, and I have one. I think I'm going to go to this project the same way that I went to the AZU project. I'm going to do as little as possible to preserve all the dents and the wear, and just fix up all the mechanical bits and then enjoy it. I think that's the right thing to do. And then there is the Saab 900 Turbo. That's another project in the same category as my Bx 4x4. It's a project that I'm really looking forward to continuing on. But because of the fact that the YouTube videos itself is not really giving very much income, and I don't have a sponsor at the moment, I don't have the time to work on these. I have to do some work that pays, like fixing up a car to sell it. There's a long way to go before this would be sellable, and I think I will also have a hard time selling it, so it's not really the time for this. I hope the time for this and the Bx comes soon. That would be really nice. Sometimes stuff just happened that wasn't really the plan, and that's just part of life. This was actually a customer job. I was supposed to fix up this, give it a fresh MOT and so on. In the end, the owner decided to give up on this because it's going to be quite expensive to fix if you can't do it yourself. And there is a lot of rust on this, primarily rust actually. The rest of it is kind of decent. So he decided to give up on this. He bought another car that I will show you in a second because that's also here. I'm going to do some work to that. And part of the payment is this. So this one now belongs to me, and I have no idea what to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to fix it, if I'm going to sell it as a project. I think it's a pretty cool car, but I just have so many cool cars in line, so I don't know when the time for this will come, if ever. So yeah, I don't know what to do with this. There are so many mopeds in my possession at the moment, and I think the right thing would be to make a video, a garage tour on the mopeds alone, because there are so many, so much to talk about. But here they are: Lohmann Diesel, Mobilette, Simpson, Velo Solex, Velo Vap, SCO, Mobilette, Velo, Yamaha Sting, Casal, oh, another Velo, another Casal, a Husqvarna in bits, and a Yamaha Sting more. Have you ever been inside of here? Yet another storage facility. This is the only place that is cat safe. No cats can get in here. And that's the reason why these are in here, because I don't want the paint to be scratched. They are customer cars, and I don't want them to be damaged, of course. I have no problems in cats around my own cars, because they will eat the mice, and that's a good thing. But these are pretty damn cool cars. And the first one is this. This belongs to the owner of the Opel I just showed you, which he doesn't own anymore because it's now mine. This is a Peugeot 309. It's a 2.0, designed by Pininfarina. Very, very cool. It's a cabriolet. Oh, it's not a 309, it's a 306. Sorry about that. It's from Sweden, and I need to do some work to it. It's in pretty good condition. Believe it or not, it was owned by an old lady, and it got a lot of scratches and dents, so it could be true. But it's a low miler. Let me show you the engine, because it's quite nice looking. There we go. 16 valve, 2.0, 135 horsepower, I think it's rated at. It is in pretty nice condition. What I need to do to this is a service. The cam bell is old, so I need to change the cam bell, the water pump and all that. Then I need to do some minor cosmetic stuff on the hood. There is some fabric that needs to be fitted. And also it doesn't really work, the hydraulics or whatever it is on it. But it's a pretty nice car, so I'm looking forward to fixing it and to do a test drive of it, because I think it's a pretty nice looking car, and I think it's going to be quite fun, because Peugeots from this time with power is quite fun. This is another customer job, and I would really like to find something that makes him want to sell it for nothing, because I would like to own this. It's in really nice condition. In the 90s, if you wanted a sensible, nice riding, reliable GTI, this could be one of the good ones to get. This is a Nissan Primera GTI 2.0. The clutch is slipping, so I need to change the clutch. The owner feels that the engine is slightly underperforming, but that could be because of the slipping clutch. It will be hard to feel. So I need to do some minor stuff on that. But take a look at this car. It's awesome. And just seeing this engine, you just know that it's gonna work, and it's gonna run and run and run. Oh, I love Japanese engines from this time period. They are just so nicely built. Back in the garage again. The 2CV is what I'm currently working on. This I already swapped with the Panda 4x4. I just need to finish it up, MOT it, and send it on its way. The new owner had some stuff he wanted to buy to it and put on. The very, very classy green, minty kind of colored hood for it. It looks awesome. I need to fit round chrome headlights and some other stuff. The interior is currently what I'm working on, and also you might be able to see the suspension. The shock absorbers are currently removed. That is to make it a lot easier to adjust the ride height. It was way too low before. It could almost not go onto the lift. These two pieces of wood might just look like pieces of wood, and it's one of the reasons why it's very dangerous to let anyone clean up your garage. These are ride height adjustment pieces of wood. They are very important. This is for the front, this is for the rear end. I need to finish this up so I can get started on all the other projects. As mentioned, I would really like to start working on my bigger projects, the Bx 4x4, the Saab 900 Turbo and so on. Currently it's just not possible because I need to earn some money to make this show go around. I am trying to be a full-time YouTuber, which has actually already failed because I just took a job a couple of weeks back, 1 day at a week. I'm not complaining too much because it's quite fun. But I really hope to get either a sponsor or a lot of Patreons or just a lot of views. If only I could multiply my views with, let's say, 10, that would be nice. But also quite impossible. So for now, I have to concentrate on stuff that earns me a bit of money. And I also would like to continue on the rust work on my A112 Abarth. This car really has a special place in my heart, and that's the reason why it's still here. Because currently the rust amount is on the brink of where giving up is not completely out of the question. But it is out of the question for me at least, because I love this car. I just need to get it all welded up so I can go back to driving it, because it's the most fun car to drive in the world. I was actually finished filming the video. I just moved the 2CV around because I need to work on the engine, then I can use the lift meanwhile. And then the post came with a package, and this is a bit exciting because this is the latest merchandise that will maybe go online on the shop if I like it. I like to test all the stuff before. And this one I have been looking forward to. Oh. That's not bad. I like that. If you like old rusty things, maybe you would like it as well. Go to the shop and check it out and buy a million of them. And then I promise I will fix some of the cool cars. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.